Bernardi back with the coach. And Coach, maybe you can give us a little bit of an update now, because we know that tonight, final round action, a lot of excitement, not only in our division, but in Division 2. Maybe you could explain some of the key matchups.
And plus, everybody's starting to think about district playoffs because it's the last game of the first half. And only league games count for district seeding. Last year, they took 3 teams from the Wyoming Valley Conference Division 1. We were one of them. Coughlin and Valley West were the other 2. So teams are starting to think that way. Pittston has a big game with Tunkhannock. They have to win that ball game. If they would drop that game, and we know Tunkhannock's right, they're primed, they're overdue to win a basketball game. If they would drop that game, that would really hurt them for the playoffs. So these games are not only, this isn't only a big game like Coughlin's coming in here, they're talking, being a spoiler, but also district playoffs in the second half and so forth. In Division 2, it's real interesting because Wyoming area, Nanticoke, and Crestwood are all at 5-2. Because Wyoming area defeated Nanticoke and defeated them soundly by about 18 points with Steve Bazinski back. Kid's a jumping jack, played in the fall league with a couple of our players up in Kingston. He's about 6'3", and we were fortunate that he wasn't in the game when we went up there. It would have been a much tighter game. So Crestwood plays Wyoming area tonight. The loser's out of the first half title for Division 2. And then Nanticoke plays Hanover. So it's real interesting right now in Division 1 and Division 2. I'm not as in tune in Division 3, but I know that's, I think GAR and Myers are battling it out there.
Okay, so if Nanticoke were not, I would probably, even though Hanover, I think, really tough because of Pliskin, they have some talent, but I wouldn't say anything, I wouldn't say any team is going to be a lock, but I would think Nanticoke would win that game. So you're saying there's a real strong possibility there'd be a two-way tie.
Right. I mean, obviously, the Crestwood game, the Crestwood-Wyoming area loser is out of the first half, and then there would have to be a playoff, and the playoff is Thursday night.
Okay.
And if Coughlin came in, we don't like to say it, and outplayed us tonight and won the game, and we would have to play a playoff if Valley West beat Berwick, and that would be Thursday night. But we're hoping to win this tonight.
Okay, you might possibly have 2 playoffs the same night, but they'd be 2 different divisions, or would they rotate that?
No, that would be the playoff night.
Okay.
And I'm sure that obviously they could be at the same site or whatever. Hopefully there's one playoff game.
Right, not involving Hazelton area. But I think this is what you said at the beginning of the year, and I think this is what the other coaches have been working towards for years. The fact that on a given night, we use that cliche only because it's true, especially in high school basketball, that a team has a shot at upsetting somebody else. But I think what's great about us, every game we've been involved in has been relatively close. And I think the kids have gone beyond. I think that takes a special talent when you're talking 1-2 point difference, minute and a half to go. We've made some incredibly crucial foul shots. Your guards have done a job, Chris and Bobby, Jonathan Veet, at times Jay Grabelny, and Bobby Nansteele. The big one that was made in our Wyoming Valley West game, where had he not made that, you're talking like a difference of maybe 4 points, you don't come back. So I mean, there's a lot of good signs where it's going to be a team is going to have to play well to defeat us. That's how I feel.
Well, certainly. I think you're right. And the thing is, teams are capable of playing well, and we have to continue to play well. We didn't have a particularly great game the other night, but we played well enough to win. Tonight we'll have to play better, but I feel we will play better. The kids know it's a championship game, and so does Coughlin, obviously. They want to play the role, as we said, of the spoiler, and also, they want some momentum going into the second half. So we've had tremendous games with Coughlin over the years since we were at Hazelton High, and John Quinn and I started coaching against each other when I was the head coach at Hazelton High and we played at St. Joe's. That has continued. Very, very few games have been lopsided. We got our way with them a few times when we had, the superior teams and the size and so forth with, the Antolics, Brzezinskis, Josephs, and people like that can go on and on with those players. But the other games, by and large, I'd say 80% to 85% have been, 4 to 6 point games.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. They bring up a great point. Is it because maybe you guys know each other so well? Because there's been an inordinately number of extremely close games where you're talking, and there were times that maybe Coughlin had superior personnel, and we're lucky to get away.
Well, I think there was maybe a couple years there when they had John Sowell and Perluke and that Baron Jones kid. They were bigger and maybe a little bit more athletic than we were when we pulled out the, I think, double or triple overtime district win against them at Wilkes. But there have been some games where, you know, we were fortunate at the end to win the games. There's no question. And, you know, now they're on a little bit of a winning streak. So the reason we know each other so well is I'm looking at the league's senior coaches, Libby, and I feel I'm getting a little bit older, but John Quinn, Chet Hine, and Bruce Live are the three coaches that have been there since 1986. The rest have retired, resigned, etc. They're gone. And that's quite interesting since I've come back in the 85-86 season. There's only two other coaches in the league with about 24 teams that are you know, that are remaining, and I'm hearing that Chet might pack it in after this year. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that from a few people. I don't want to speak out of school, but he's been around. He's the dean of the Wyoming Valley Conference coaches. I believe Gary Vandenberg was, but he retired as coach and has picked up the athletic director duties at Wyoming Seminary. So John and I we're into our 30-plus games against each other, coaching against each other. It's over 30, I believe, right now, right around 30 at least.
You start including playoffs and everything, yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely. There's been 30 games or so, and we've varied some things up. We use some of the old standard things. He knows we throw matchup at him, and I know he likes to extend it 2-3 and go back to 2-3. He likes to extend it 2-3 or 2-1-2, go back to man, and pack the man in, run it or shooters. So I don't, you know, they might come out and play a triangle and 2 on Chris and Bobby. You know, we're prepared for that. But you have to be prepared for anything. He does a nice job. We're prepared. They're going to be prepared. I think the fans are in for a real good game.
Yeah, it's always interested me that even when the games are relatively low scoring, like both guys play great defense, it was close. Then a couple of times you've had shootouts where both teams have scored a great number of points. But the key, you're exactly right. Always close ball games, and I guess you have to be prepared for several things because he probably scouts Stationary more than anybody else. He does come up with some different kinds of defenses, but what you've stated here, you're prepared to get several different looks.
Well, we've played so many types of different teams that do different things. It's not like we just put stuff in for the Coughlin game. We have an offense for just about anything he can throw at us. It's just, you know, we have to execute. And then it still comes down to who defends the other team better, who's going to defend the opponent better, and who's going to out-rebound the other team. And then, of course, the other big intangible, as you've said many times, is the foul shooting at the end of the game.
Well, that's right. I think we might have the advantage. I don't know how well Coughlin shoots fouls, but when I start looking on the collegiate level, even in the NBA, it's almost become a lost art. Yet over the years, I was wondering about that, how you guys work in that, because over the years, it's legend. The tremendous foul shooting. Going back, you know, when Ryan was in the 90s, and you've had your team always, since I've been following you, last in the 70s.
Jason Hoppe,
yeah, those
we've always had great free throw shooters. Bobby Bourne's a great free throw shooter. Chris, they're our 2 best free throw shooters this year. And we work at it. Every team works at free throw shooting. I don't know that we do it any differently. We certainly stress it. I think it's not the amount of free throws you take. It's under what situation of practice and how much you stress it. I think that's the key. John Wooden always said that, you know, you have to spend more time on offensive practice, but you stress defense more. So I guess he meant he was a little bit more intense when he taught defense. He even yelled when he was coaching defense. He used to say, he said, I don't know how you can be a coach and teach defense without getting fired up in practice. And that came from probably the most promised guy I've ever seen on the bench.
That's from
Johnny
the Wizard.
Wood. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So we're going to be back to wrap it up with the coach following these messages.
In the Vatican lies a treasure recently presented to Pope John Paul II. It's the precious chaplet of Our Lady, an exquisite design honoring the Rosary. Now you can have this inspired piece as a reaffirmation of faith for all to see. Choose your precious chaplet from diamonds and gold to sterling silver. Each chaplet comes with a numbered certificate of authenticity.
Available at Howard Jewelers at the Laurel Mall in Hazleton.
246. I was driving to the basket with my patented slam dunk when I zigged instead of zagged, and I knew that I'd been had. 248. I called one of the convenient Irely chiropractic locations, and he told me to come right in for an appointment. 301. Dr. Irely gave me an adjustment, and I knew that I was going to be better. Now, I may be getting a little older, but thanks to the offices of Irely Chiropractic, I can still slam dunk with the best of them.
At Irely Chiropractic, I feel good naturally.
Hey, Krista, I went out looking for a new GE refrigerator yesterday, and I found that the chain stores don't always offer the lowest prices.
Yeah, Dawn, I heard that. My friend Rex went to one and found out that it just wasn't the best deal.
I ended up at Sharp's, and their price included removing the old refrigerator, explaining all its features. They have service 6 days a week and next-day delivery. There's no waiting around a week like my buddy Al B had to.
I guess at Sharp's they really know how to treat their customers. I'll have to stop by and see them.
Good idea.
Bookman's Auto Center. We go the extra mile. Napa parts, all the leading name brand tires, tire balancing, state-of-the-art front-end alignment, all major and minor auto repairs, engine rebuilding, state inspections. Bookman's, your convenient auto service center. Check out these specials. Flush and fill, $34.95. Transmission flush and fill, $89.95. Air conditioning service, $59.95. Bookman's Auto Center. We go the extra mile.
Okay, back with the coach. We're going to be discussing a little bit about the personnel of Kaufman. What can we look forward to seeing tonight, Coach?
Personnel and some pronunciations that you love. There's Versakuskis, Lucino, not Lucino.
All right, excellent.
Lucino is their leading player. He's their returning point guard. He and Chris Slibe have had several battles since they were freshmen, JV players, and in the AAU. If there's man-to-man, that should go well. Ryan Hooks played last year. He's back. A kid named Sklarowski. And they have Froelich, the 6'2 guard.
All right, Coach, as usual, we want to wish you good luck tonight. Look forward to seeing another great performance.
Thanks, Lip.
See you guys again right back out there next week. Have a nice week.